Ladies and gentlemen, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
We're here. It's November, and we're here to talk about...
It's the day after Halloween.
Day after Halloween. The Christmas decorations are up at our hotel in St. Augustine.
This is officially the day that they go up, man. You can, once Halloween has passed, you can do the Christmas decorations. I don't know how it's done in Canada, but it's the U.S. and it's Florida. They love the Christmas there.
I also don't celebrate Christmas, so
very much aware of that.
There we go.
It does happen around you, even though you exist in your own universe. There is, in fact, things happening around your universe.
That's crazy.
In any case, I digress.
Anyway, we're here to talk about last night's Halloween show. It was a blast. St. Pete Pier, Stranger Things, a lot happened. A lot to talk about, so we're going to dive right in. Just the two of us today. So nice and tight pod here.
Just the two of us.
Really interesting venue here. It's literally, so the St. Pete Pier, it's literally just the pier, and the venue was in a grassy area at the end of the pier. So it's on the water, beautiful, surrounding. I guess the ground was a little loose. There's a lot of sand. Loomis said that one of the band's trucks got stuck at load-in. Like he said, before sunrise, they had a truck that got stuck in the concert area. So glad they were able to rescue that. But there was a lot of blowing sand throughout the show. I was like blowing my nose this morning, and there's like, it's like when I was at Summer Camp Festival in spring 2023. But it's
decidedly nicer than having dust in your sinuses. At least that means you're at the beach. But yeah, that sounds gross.
Yep. But yeah, anyway, we're there, and the show starts, and suddenly within 20 minutes of the show starting, there were like 7 times the amount of people that were there before, which was really cool. Like leading up to the show, a show like this, similar to Miami, when it's all GA, you really can't tell how sold it is in advance or how many people are going to be there, unless it's sold out. That's the only really the indication that you can get. And so leading up to the show, there was like a ton of space. It was a little bit empty, and it's like, how many people are actually going to be here tonight? And then the show starts, and suddenly thousands of people just materialize out of nowhere. But it was great. The vibes were high. The Halloween spirit was in the air. Saw lots of great costumes. There were a lot of people dressed as Cotter. I saw like more than a couple of kimonos, which was great. It's catching on.
Anybody no shirt with vest?
I saw
also a sick Cotter
kimono with a Rubik's Cube earring.
Oh, sick! Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. But
wait, can we talk about something really quick before we talk about the show?
Yes.
Return of the intern, Josh, to the chat. So round of applause for Josh in the chat here.
Welcome back. All right. Well, yeah, let's get into this show. We got an indication of the Stranger Things theme, with the release of the poster and the shirt before the show. The band comes on stage to the theme. We see the costumes. Second Halloween show in a row that Peter has shaved his mustache for. Big news. So Cotter in a dress. He let us know later in the first set that he was not wearing underwear. So thank you for that, Cotter. And
he's really embracing the drummer persona,
Yeah,
just like,
I forget what song it was after, but he goes, in case anyone's wondering, no, I'm not wearing underwear.
Yeah, I think he called them underpants too, which is just hilarious. I mean, way to go, Cotter.
It was great. But Neil, what were your initial reactions when you saw it was going to be Stranger Things?
Well, first of all, I was shocked and excited. This is great, and I think it actually fits like the Netflix and chill theme, which is interesting. They haven't used those words to describe it at all recently. Yeah. It's been since, I want to say 2018, actually, maybe 2019 they used it. But stoked because it immediately was like, all right, I can name a handful of songs that I know that they're going to play, and I'm really excited about it. We'll talk about one of those later, which is, Running Up That Hill Make a Deal with God, that song is incredible. I'm not the hugest Kate Bush fan, but that tune in particular is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those songs where we'll get there and we'll talk about it. Shoot, I'm going to talk about it now. Screw it. Where like it's another one of those tunes where I think you think about like Fish, like Trey would go and pick out like all these songs that are just like total Guitar Hero songs, so he could be like, "See, I can do it," and like better, like do like Hendrix or whatever, or like While My Guitar Gently Weeps is another great example. I think what Goose does is pick songs where they're just like, "See, Rick can sing that," and like find me a jam band with a guy who can sing that one. And this is another amazing example of that.
And
it's a jam vehicle.
Oh, we'll get
Right.
to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. Let's start from the beginning here.
Rick is an incredible singer. That's the one thing I wanted to say. Absolutely amazing cover of that song. And there were a handful of other things I was expecting them to cover. Before we get into the music, there was no Master of Puppets last night. I want to say
there was... Goose was going to play a Metallica song?
I would have loved to see them give it a shot. They're capable of playing it. I mean, there's like teenagers with like, cover bands in their garage playing this. Like anybody can play. Not anybody can play Master of Puppets, but anybody could try,
Well, yeah.
So, I don't know. Yeah.
Anyone can also,
like Josh said, I'm here for the misses.
There we go. Anyway, let's dive into the show here. First few songs. So we get obviously the opening Stranger Things theme, Dr. Darkness, Yeti, Silver Rising. Good opener. Dr. Darkness, obviously, they're going to play it. And I thought it was funny, Dr. Darkness and Silver Rising both coming early on in the show. And it's like, these are like the most obvious Halloween songs. But it's funny that I thought of like, they haven't played a Halloween show since before either of those songs were debuted. So it's like, obviously those are like top of mind. We're going to do those, next year, if they do Halloween again, those aren't as much of a lock. I feel like, but I think going into this, it's like, we have these spooky and werewolf songs that we have never played on Halloween. So we're going to do it.
Right. Although, I mean, if you look at historically what they have played at Halloween shows, there are some pretty common threads there. You see a lot of Wisterias, you see a bunch of songs, but it doesn't really matter. In any case.
Yeah.
But yeah,
this Yeti was fun. Yeti is, it's 2024 Yeti.
Yeah. 2024 Yetis rule. We've been over that on this pod. This one rules. There's nothing exceptional about this one. I feel like it has room to be exceptional now. It's not just like we go down the list and say, they played Yeti and move on. But in this case, that is exactly what it was. Yeah. It was just a Yeti and they're out,
Yeah. But it was good. Then we get Wisteria. Again, one of the like super long gap on this one. Hadn't been played since Montana. Longest gap in a year and a half. Last gap was this long was middle of 2023 when it wasn't played for 19 shows. This one was 15. So long time. Good to see Wisteria back. Really short version, obviously. And, this was like normally if they play like, what was it, like an 8-minute Wisteria?
Yeah.
Like normally I would be like really pissed off about an 8-minute Wisteria.
You should always be pissed off about that. But
sure. But
it's a wasted opportunity.
Absolutely. But in this show, I was not expecting, big improv. I think historically on a Halloween show, just the last one they played, like the 10/31/21 was not the jammiest show. 11/7/20 actually has a phenomenal arrow and a couple of
I was there. I was at both those shows.
Yeah,
I know. That arrow was very good. Yeah. There was like the original Dark arrow that was like the genesis of the Dark Goose conversation was right at
go check out 11/7/20 arrow. Well worth a listen. Very nice Doobie song Cool Down right after. As we all know, Neil loves that.
Big Doobie
no
fan.
Mahali, but
yeah. Oh, I mean, what a night that was, Laser Slow Ready.
Oh yeah.
The debut of Naveed at Merch was also that weekend. I mean, it was a magical weekend.
That show was the first Seekers as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Same weekend, I think the debut of Goose Empress. I mean, all kinds of things.
Oh yeah. And Earthling. Anyway,
go back and
Mysterious Psycho Killer. Really, really great Psycho Killer. Cotter on lead vocals. First known play of this song since November 23rd, 2016. It is possible that they've played it since. We do not have a record of it. That's why we don't have an exact show count. But this was a great cover. Cotter crushed the vocals. You
He
know,
did
it
actually
was a
like
great cover band.
surprisingly well. He
Yeah.
did those vocals. Like he has done that song hundreds of times in his life, which he must have.
He probably has. And I
Don't
mean,
know.
this song is also like this is in Rick's wheelhouse in terms of vocals.
Yes.
And it's just great to see him give Cotter the lead on this. You know, especially, you know, like Cotter not getting to sing on any band songs.
Yeah,
You
right.
know, nice to see like it's not a song that wouldn't sound good with Rick on lead, you know, and it's like, you know, Cotter's going to sing it because, you know, it might not sound as good with Rick. Like they were like, yeah, Cotter's going to do this one. And he's going to knock it out of the park.
Well, it's also Talking Heads. Like I think anybody can take a stab at it if you can kind of approximate
Anybody
the
can play Talking
speaking,
Heads.
singing voice.
Yeah.
Well,
Anybody
it's
can play
not.
Metallica.
It doesn't require, you know, really excellent vocal abilities. You're basically speaking when you're singing this song.
This is a good question now, Josh. Could they retry Burning Down the House with Cotter and sound better?
Well, they'd still have to get the changes, but yes, they would
Yeah,
probably
listen,
sound better.
I'm open to it. I'm open to it
Oh,
if they
man.
want to do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, from there, first set finishes out with Maniac, Madhavan, Wipeout, Madhavan. Yeah, you know, we're just full-blown party mode, having a great time. Like, Maniac was awesome. Again, this is the genre that Goose absolutely crushes in terms of covers.
Yes.
So I like that, you know, this is the first Netflix and chill, if you will, that is a TV show.
Well, that's what I was
not a
getting
movie.
at the top of the show.
Oh, okay.
It's like a true Netflix and chill situation.
Yes. It's a Netflix original.
Yeah.
Amazing. But yeah, I love how they've, you know, chosen these in the past. And I mean, obviously you're going to want to pick a theme for Halloween that has songs that sound really good with your band, but they've done really well. You know, I mean, doing 2 Austin Powers movies, like, okay. But like Donnie Darko was amazing. Like Semi-Pro was, you know, good shtick. And this one was just great. But I loved what they did, you know, with this Madhavan sandwich. You know, second Madhavan, You May Be Right, and Pure Imagination teases. I didn't hear the Pure Imagination, but the You May Be Right was all over it. Very, very Billy Joel. I actually thought, I didn't tweet about the tease right away because it sounded like they were going into it. Like I thought they were about to play Billy Joel.
Yeah, I'm not a big Billy Joel guy, so maybe that's why I didn't really hear that one. Because like when somebody said the name of the song, I was like, I have no idea what that was. And I went and listened to it on Spotify, and I was like, don't know it. It's not a Billy Joel guy. But wait, one thing
I know it because Trey played it with Billy Joel earlier this year.
Oh, right. But like this Wisteria and the Madhavan that they played in this had like little tinges of the Stranger Things theme in it.
Yeah.
Which I thought like made both of the jams sound really cool.
Yeah. No, agreed. And I mean, yeah, I also love the way that they went into the Wipeout, where they like kind of like faded down, and then Jeff just goes, Wipeout. Like,
amazing. You know what would have been better there though? Master of Puppets. For sure. But you know, we'll accept Wipeout. Master of Puppets would have been better.
Yeah.
Someone get the message to the band. Maybe they'll do it tonight. They'll make it right and play Master of Puppets.
They're going to open with Master of Puppets in St.
Sick.
Augustine. You heard it here first.
Yeah. If there was justice in the world, Ryan, that would be the case.
Yeah.
However,
Kirk Hammett has actually been cited in St. Augustine. He's going to come out and play St. Augustine. But yeah, my mom said, yeah, you could look around and date people in the crowd quickly on whether they knew the songs or not. I would just like to say, I'd like to thank you, Neil, for your help on the set list with all the songs that I didn't know. You know, they're obviously going into the Halloween show. I was nervous because I'm like, you know, they're going to play covers that I don't know. Like, you know, at a Goose show, I'm fairly confident that I will recognize every song that they're going to play, unless it's like super obscure. But like last night, I was like, what's going to happen? Anyway, I had these very lovely messages coming in from Neil letting me know, like, this one's called Dr. Darkness. This one's called Wisteria Lane. This one's called Madhavan. This one's called Wipeout. It was great. But I'd like to shout out my mom for helping me with some of these names. There were a few that she knew all the words to, but didn't know the name of, which was pretty funny. But yeah, it was an adventure. But
hey, you know, I don't mind helping. I'm here to help in all situations. But I do have to honestly say, have you not watched Stranger Things?
No, I haven't.
Really?
Yeah, I
Oh.
haven't seen it.
I'm surprised by that because you're like a big kind of, streaming television show guy. So I'm shocked by this. But
Certain ones.
Okay, so
Certain
not.
ones.
You should watch it. It's good.
Yeah, I know. The only thing I knew about it was at camp a couple of years ago. We did like a Stranger Things theme day that I helped organize, and I learned a little bit about the show from that. That was about it.
Great soundtrack, as you now know.
Yes, as I now know.
Synth-heavy theme, which is
Yeah.
great. It's an opportunity for Peter to do Peter things with that. And on the topic of that, I hope the Stranger Things theme sticks around or like pops up here and there.
Yeah,
I think it would be really cool. It just sounds awesome.
Just
so,
yeah. Anyway, set break. A little bit longer. Not the biggest. Not the best time management. After a couple nights of really good time management in Miami, they went on a little late last night. Took a longer set break. Which resulted in Big Modern and Feel It Now getting cut from the second set, which I'm personally okay with. But
I'm very upset about it.
The only thing I think I would change about last night's show timing wise would be an extra 10 minutes on the Empress.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that Feel It Now because the song rules and they're not playing it. That's annoying. So let's hope they play it tonight. But
yeah, me too.
And then Big Modern, like, come on, it's Big Modern.
Don't worry, Big Modern in Florida is going to happen. It has to. But let's get into the second set here. We come out with You Spin Me Round Like a Record. Sick cover. This should stay in the rotation.
I mean, they all should. It's a question of just what is going to stick around. There you go. Big Modern into Master of Puppets. Does it get more Florida than that? I don't think it does. It would be absolutely sick. Sorry. Back to You Spin Me Around Like a Record. So they gave it away that they were going to do this, and none of us thought to kind of think on why did they tease You Spin Me Right Round?
Because it's a tease. Maybe Rick heard the song earlier that day, which I'm sure he did.
We are just not a clever fan base because somebody should have figured this out.
Is it that obvious?
Well, no. Somebody should have picked up on it and said like, they tease this. Like, I wonder if this has anything to do with the upcoming thing they're going to cover on Halloween because we all know that they're going to do it. But
I think we all though like. I mean, us as like Fish fans. I think at this point we're kind of like desensitized to like, oh, they're teasing things leading up to Halloween. Maybe that's, I think of like fall 95 when there was just like AC/DC teases in every show. And then that wasn't it. Or like fall 2013 when everyone was like, whoa, they're playing. Trey's playing Very Allman Brothers. We're going to do Eat a Peach.
Yeah. But that's different. That's the opposite end of the spectrum. That fan base is insane. Like people like pick out like the third
diagram,
the first letter of the third song played in every set over the course of the tour, and then that spells out like what they're going to play next. Whatever. But in this case, it was a clue. That's all I'm saying. It was a clue.
I love that.
But yeah,
I love that. Well, yeah, this cover crushed. Anyway, keeping the dance party vibes going, and then we get Arrow running up that hill. Arrow. This is the best 30 minutes of the show, right here.
Oh yeah,
this is incredible. The Arrow, 15-minute version. Beautiful major key, like type 1.5 kind of hosey space.
Did it again. Oh man, every show.
A lot of type 1.5.
Yeah, I guess.
But man, this was just such a great jam. The wind is blowing. Not every gust of wind had sand in it. So this part was like nice. Felt like you were floating. Great little space they found in there. I really thought Cotter was playing his ass off last night, especially. Really stuck out to me.
It was just like set free by his outfit.
Well,
nothing
ventilated.
Restricting him. You know what I mean?
I do want to shout out also. I don't remember which part of the show this was, but Jordan, their drum tech, posted a video on Instagram of him making waffles, like Eggo waffles. Yeah, Eggo waffles specifically in a toaster side stage, and then turning around and like throwing them to people in the crowd during the show. And I just want to say that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you do with an Eggo waffle at the show. Hopefully you have.
If you catch it, you eat the waffle.
I sure as shit hope you have a beverage when you do that. Eating a dry Eggo waffle, not a fun experience, especially like if you're at a show and you're getting sandblat, you're like breathing sand, and then like you're trying to eat an Eggo waffle. I mean, this is a pretty epic image here. Jeb ate one while playing. Well, one often gets hungry. Jeb is always hungry, I'm sure. You know what I mean? But in any case, going back to the music. I want to talk about Run Up That Hill still.
Yes,
we kind of walked away from it. I mean, this not only is the cover amazing, and we already talked about what I think about like Rick singing and why they pick certain covers and why they pick certain things. Because like truthfully, there are no jam bands that can do this song justice. This is the only jam band I think that can pull this off. There are jam bands with really good singers, but I don't think anybody can really do this one. If people disagree, put it in the comments about who you think could actually do this better. But I don't think there are many jam bands or any jam bands that can do it. Or do it and like have it not be like kind of like a travesty, you know? There's this like epic song and then like you take a shot at it and it's just like it sounds like half-hearted. I don't know. In any case, this is really good. And then you get jam with it. So
basically drip field, just a relentless drip field jam in here.
So awesome. I'm gonna play the shit out of this. Like it's gonna be insane.
Yeah.
How many times I listen to this?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going on the playlist. It's not going on the playlist. But
it's not going on the playlist. But this is like this is like the Miami Rum, where it's like this is a really good jam, and I'm gonna listen to it a lot. Yeah. And it's just like from the drip field zone, just picks up speed, and you just slam right back into the ending of Arrow. Like it was great.
There you go. David Shock.
Thank you, Matt.
Really crush it. I mean. Define crush any way you want, but
whoa, this guy Lucas said it's going on the playlist. Neil, I think we need to reevaluate.
Lucas has all kinds of playlists. Ask Lucas for his Reba playlist. It's sick. It's one Reba.
Oh, it's one Reba like 15 times. I mean, fair enough. Anyway, from there we finish out the second set with Creatures and Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Great little combination here. Creatures again just fits the vibe. I think Feel It Now would have been better instead of Creatures, just because we got a short Creatures. I think Feel It Now would have been, I don't know. I mean, Creatures was a sick choice here, but
you kind of got to do the Creatures, right? It's Halloween.
Yeah.
The name
true.
fits
Creatures
the
in the
theme.
Night. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just kind of a throw in there. It's just like it feels like at a show like this, you're waiting to see what they cover. You're not really stoked on the originals. You're like, all right, come on. What's the next one? What are you gonna do next?
Like, what do we got? And Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
Amazing.
This
one actually is the one I hope sticks. If they all go away, I'll be sad about like Running Up That Hill. Like Psycho Killer definitely is not going to come back. Maniac's not really going to come back. Wipeout. Let's hope it doesn't come back.
Wipeout into Whip It.
But Whip It, I love. Like, don't get me started on that. Whip It's sick. But yeah, I don't know. In any case, Everybody Wants to Rule the World was incredible. I mean, their cover was perfect. It wasn't just like a cover and they're like, oh, it was like pretty good. Like this was like a really true to the original rendition. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, agreed.
Vibes.
And then we get a nice little drone for the encore. Reprise of the Stranger Things theme, kind of end off the Netflix and chill portion of the show. And then they just like rip an 8-minute Empress to finish it off. Like, I mean, this is like, I think this happens with a lot of bands where it's like, they finish this theme thing and this thing that they've been working towards for a while and they've put a lot of planning and effort into. Then they finish it and they're just like, fuck yeah, we did it. Now let's just rip. And so this Empress was amazing. I would have really enjoyed to see what they would have done with another 10 minutes. But it was a great way to end off the show. Rick playing like a man possessed in this solo. It was crazy.
It was really good. Disappointing in that it was so short. That really long set break. It was super long, right? It wasn't just in my mind super long.
And they went on almost 30 minutes after ticket time.
Yeah, that bummed me out because I feel like we probably could have gotten like a couple jams in there, but hey, tonight's going to be an absolute rager. If
Dude.
you look at like what's on the table, so shorter night. So you have 2 songs left off. Like those 2 probably get carried over into tonight, as you said. So Feel It Now and Big Modern were on the set list for last night, not played. And then there's just like every 6 song they've got.
Every banger. They have set up. It's like they have set up St. Augustine to be just 2 nights of just straight bangers. There's going to be nothing left by the time they get to Pittsburgh next week.
Yes. So let's hope they choose to jam all of these bangers that they have in their back pocket now. But they really have this super lined up, which I guess that happens in a show where you cover a zillion songs. Right. And you've been covering a bunch of songs over the last few shows. So it's it's going to be absolutely bananas tonight. I'm very excited to tune into this one. And I'll help you with the set list again tonight. Ryan.
Oh, good. I appreciate it. Now that they're going to be playing Goose songs again, I'm really going to need some assistance.
I mean, that was the best part is you were so stressed out about it.
I know
that like before I even heard like the first few notes of the song, you had already posted it because you were there and like I was on the delay. So there's no way I could help you anyway. So I just chose to be a total nuisance instead, which for me was enjoyable. I mean, I have to say.
It's like your favorite pastime, being a nuisance.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Being a nuisance. Anyway, that brings us to the close of last night's show. Great one. And very much looking forward to the venue tonight. Everybody's just been telling me how incredible the St. Augustine venue is. So it's great. Can't wait to get over there. Can't wait for the show.
You're just zigzagging across the state of Florida right now.
I know. Yeah.
So you're on the East Coast of Florida right now. You're going to the West. Are you on the West Coast already? Or are you on your way? What?
St. Pete was on the West Coast.
Oh, is that how it goes? Yeah.
Miami on the Atlantic coast. St. Pete's on the Gulf Coast, and now we're back on the Atlantic coast for St. Augustine.
Got it.
So it's going to be great. Going to hit the beach tomorrow. Enjoy the weekend, but it's going to be fun. Can't wait. We'll see you out there. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon, 3:30 Eastern, to talk about tonight's show. We will see you there. Everybody, enjoy your Friday night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.